Hello everyone, this is SWTOR Snoopy here, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing some Gunnery Commando PvP on the Denova Warzone. Now, before we start the gameplay, I want to say that this particular episode is a post-commentary recording, meaning that I recorded the audio after finishing the match. I can't do a live commentary right now, so this is the next best thing. I should also quickly mention that this is my second match since an extended break from the game, so I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes, and you can roast me if you want. Anyway, so let's jump right into this. Alrighty guys, we're in a match right now. So as I'm jumping into it, this is my commando. I've been away from the game about 3 months or so. So this was my second match jumping back into it, and I knew that it was most likely going to be a rough one. Getting back into the swing of things can always be quite a bummer. But to start off, I decided I was going to go after the healer. And the reason I decided the healer was the person to go after is because if a healer is focused and they can't focus, or rather they can't focus their heals on teammates, then they aren't really doing too much. So straight off the bat, I knew that this team definitely had some damage. I knew that I was tanking quite a bit of damage, and that I would have to be very careful. So to start off, I marked the healer, just kind of mess with them a bit, and decided that the way to best play this match would be to most likely focus on taking picks and taking essentially low risk kills. So my main goal here was to go after people that looked pretty low and looked like they were struggling, and just try to help finish them off. So as you can see right there, I was originally going for the healer, but decided I was going to tab target back to a mercenary who looked really low. And while we were fighting all these guys, my teammates were doing a very good job in focusing on the objective, and that really did help, because it is very useful to have people focus on the objective and doing that job. But as you saw right there, I was very, very low. Honestly, I was so close to death, and I thought I was going to die to the tick damage from the Sith Sork. And that was really scary, and I was quite honestly pretty surprised I survived. But the good news is, I was really glad about it. And we were starting to do some work here. We were taking down enemies left and right, and really showing what we could do. Now, while this was all happening, I wasn't paying attention too well to the objective. I want to say that I want to always focus on the objective and keep sight of that. But at the same time, I felt like I was getting kind of greedy here. I was really just wanting to get some kills, and I hate to do that because I know that that's not the best gameplay style, because going after kills, as fun as it is, not focusing on the objective can really cost you the match. So while I was going after enemies right here, I was kind of in the back of my mind saying this is probably not the best thing to do. And even as you can see right now, we don't even have 2 nodes at the moment on Denova, which means that we are taking some damage. So I knew that we needed to get a second node right here. So it was either going to be west or east. And currently, since I saw the enemy team was kind of surrounding here, and that my team was deciding to go to west, that it might be a good idea to really hurt these guys. But as you can see right here, I am kind of near the back. I see that some of my teammates are starting to die, and I hate to be that guy who abandons them. But you know what? I decided I'm going to nope out of there. It's not worth it. And I'm going to head back and retreat to east, because I assumed that there'd be more people there. And as you can see, I quickly checked the minimap and I was right. So I was headed back to east. I wanted to do some damage, and I wanted us to get this node. So I was starting to get back into focus. I knew what we needed to do, and I also knew that losing wasn't worth it. So I decided, you know what, hey, I'm going to cap. No one's worried about me, until this juggernaut decided he was going to launch me back and make me feel bad. But luckily I had some great teammates to back me up and people just putting in the deeps. And while my teammates were taking down that enemy right there, I was capping once again because I assumed that the enemy was, coming up, at least one of them. And then surprise, surprise, the moment we capture East, we have the whole entire squad here. We have 5 enemies just ready to ruin our day, including the healer. So I was really glad that we did get East just in time. But if you notice in the top right hand corner, someone was trying to back cap. I capped the node and helped my team, but at the same time, I completely lost focus and didn't pay attention. And I don't even know what to say. Like, it's good and all to cap the node and get all that stuff. Like, yay, hooray, we get a victory. But at the same time, I felt like I should have paid more attention. Because while we did catch that person back capping us, that could have been really bad if they successfully captured and we were just all in the node at that time. So I'm really glad we caught it right there. That was honestly a really big mistake. And really just a noob and rookie mistake. Like, that shouldn't have even happened. But luckily we made up for it and we caught it just in time. And I didn't recapture the objective. And looking back on that, that was a little silly. But we did have some teammates there. And I saw someone was calling out in the chat about mid. And I decided, of course, focusing on what needs help at the moment is the best thing to do. And the second I got there, I saw that there was already 2 people that looked like they were pretty set at mid, and that the enemy team wasn't likely going to cause any issues. So at this point, I decided I was going to head straight back to East because there really wasn't any point to overcommitting. And I've seen a lot of matches that I've played be completely lost due to overcommitting, and I didn't want that to happen again because it's such a simple thing. In such a simple process, but overcommitting can really bite you in the back. Because while it is good to get support and get help at nodes, if you have 5 people at one node and then 2 at the other, and then they decide to send the whole enemy team to the node with 2 people, then you're really just trapped. And while heading back to East and seeing that there's some fighting going on, this Sork decided to stun me. Or not stun me, but at least he decided to target me and go after me. But luckily I did have some backup there. And this was when I saw the enemy team was overwhelming us quite a bit. But once again, we did have some good support there and enough people to stop them from capping us. So at this point in the match, I could tell that our team had some really good dynamics, just with the heals, just tanking, and of course the DPS. And I also knew at this point that if we worked together and remained focused as a team, I thought that we could win. And that's a good mindset to have if you really notice that your team is starting to excel and really putting in that work. Then that's really good. You should always have motivation and always be excited when your team is just focusing on a common goal. So at this point, I am going after the enemy team, getting a little greedy, deciding that I'm going to kind of rush in there, be a tank for a little. But I soon realized that was a big mistake because these guys decided to absolutely destroy me and wreck me. But we are playing this game where we kind of chill near our node and go after the enemy, but not really give anything up. And that's something to always consider, is trying to keep the enemy away from your node and keep the battle far away is also very good because they can't really respond or do anything that will completely just do a 180 to your current gameplay style. Because since the enemy team wasn't really focused on our objective, we could just kind of hold them back and keep them away from everything. And at this point, once again, I knew that our team had a really good dynamic. And I won't even lie, as much as I was focused on the objective just before, I decided I wanted to get a little greedy again. I thought we could go for the triple cap, and I assumed that my teammates were thinking the same thing. So slowly but surely, we were going up to good old West. We were going to pay a nice little visit to our enemy team and just not really catch them by surprise, but decide, hey, we're going to try to go for that good old triple cap. So saw that there's one person right there. And at this moment, I was really excited because I was like, oh, hey, we're going to get this triple cap. But during this time, I wasn't even focused on the chat. As you can see right there, a player decided to say mid. And as you can see right there as well, he just got defeated. So I already could tell. I mean, I couldn't really tell at this point because I wasn't focused on the objective since I wanted to go for the triple cap because I was greedy. But eventually, you heard the good old Republic simulation droid telling us that we lost the objective. And I was kind of like, oh crap, we just lost that for no reason. We were trying to go and be greedy for a triple cap, and it was butting us in the back since we just lost mid. So I said, you know what, forget this. We got to go back for mid. We got to go after our node. And also, it was a quick little lesson, and it's one that I think that I honestly forget a lot of the times, and it's something that I should really stop doing, is that if you have two nodes on Denova, and they are completely secure, and you're not going to lose them, then there's really no point in going for the triple cap. And I got really greedy there, and I'm kind of disappointed about it, because it was completely avoidable, and it really wasn't a good tactic on my part. But at the end of the day, we are really starting to show up, and I kind of wanted redemption here because of what happened. So I'm really trying to attack the enemy team and focus on them while my teammates go for the objective cap. As you can see right there, that's exactly what's happening. I'm focusing on the enemy team while they just go after the objective. And once again, we're getting in a very scary situation. We're just so close to death, but it's crazy. Like, we don't die. Our team is doing such a good job. As you can see, my man gave me the good old tank guard, so huge shout out to him right there. Absolutely saved my life, honestly. Very incredible. And also get some quick heals right there. And you know what? We're topped off, back in a tip-top shape. And we have a node once again. So I'm just going after some more people. And then I saw that there was an enemy right there that was going after east. So I decided to quickly type in the chat that I was headed over there, just to let everyone know, I'm deciding to go after east, and I don't want some over-commitment. So I'm heading over there, just seeing what's happening. And it's just this Sith Sork. Not really much resistance, so I knew that I would just quickly go after this guy and then turn back around. Just top off the operative right there. And also the good thing is since there's an operative protecting east, we would be good to go for a while. Because with the stealth class, you really can mess with those guys who just want to just take your node. So at this point, I looked at the scoreboard. Or not the scoreboard, but I looked at the objective with the turrets and saw that the enemy team was at 8% shield. So I knew at this point it was a GG, and that we really just had this in the bag. So I decided, you know what, hey, I'm going to play like a deathmatch, I'm going to have a fun time, and we're just going to relax until the end. But I have to say, with this Gunnery Commando PvP episode, my team did a very, very good job. Very good heals and tanking. Just, I feel like everything went our way. There were quite a few mistakes, I won't even lie. Definitely some on my part. But the good news is even though we made some mistakes, we ended up learning from them, and we were successful. And that's the big thing to always have with matches, is to learn something and eventually come out victorious. So that's going to do it for this Star Wars Republic Gunnery Commando PvP episode. If you guys enjoyed, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.